invite Mrs. Naomini R. Veerasurya, founder, managing editor of Satynmag.com, to share with us the insights from the 2024 edition of the awards. All of you who took part this year are here today in recognition of the outstanding contribution you have made towards empowering women in the Sri Lankan workplace.
Thank you, Dipmini. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and our chief guest, Madam Foreign Secretary, Zahra, and the esteemed, she's not part of the judges, but she's so much part of the family, and so the esteemed panel of judges and all of you distinguished guests. We've had some interesting, before we start on the presentation, which I will be keeping very brief, as Zahra mentioned, incredible feedback. We've had some fabulous measures this year that we have seen corporates undertake. A few I will mention in my presentation, and we were very honored to understand that the awards have made a difference, not just to the corporates, but very importantly to the ladies on the team, and at the end of the day for all women. And also this year we've seen an emphasis on ladies in tech. Very proud to see tech companies driving engagement for more women. Very heartening to see ladies and girls in STEM being picked up. So that's just one area, and we've seen plenty. So these are the insights from the 2024 awards. So if you look at leadership, representation and gender equality, our key findings were based on leadership. We've seen that in some have really expanded considerably the level of women at the top, and they've also made sure that the figures are going up. We've also seen that, as the panel of judges, we've also seen that there's been greater gender equality in recruitment, which we think is a positive step in the right direction, with even specific targets set. A lot of companies presented to us, they had targets that had to be met. I personally feel that we, being 52% of the population, have a right to be represented in such a manner. And also, one of the key findings was that they were building a pipeline of women for leadership. So it's not just looking at women in boards, but also ensuring that women are at the top and that they are encouraged not just to go to the top, but from the very bottom. So when you encourage ladies, when they join in at the entry level and you encourage them to stay on, I think the key word is stay on. Support them when support is needed. They will flourish and grow into these leadership initiatives. And we also saw that I think the most important insights was that increasingly more and more women are being included and considered in traditionally male-dominated areas. This year we had a company from ports industry taking part. It was very refreshing to see women in such a male-dominated area such as ports, and we've also seen other areas such as technical areas where women are being included and celebrated. So when it comes to work-life balance and flexibility, which is a key topic for women, we need to be able to manage the home front, we need to be able to manage our work life. So we found that increasingly adopting flexible work policies, and particularly we've seen remote work options, we've seen home-based work for new mothers, we've seen long-term work from home arrangements wherever relevant. So we've seen a lot of these initiatives being encouraged and initiated. We've also seen the parental support. Of course, this applies to both men and women, but we see that this being the cornerstone of the HR strategies of many companies, which is very encouraging, because as we all know, women need support at that particular time when the kids are small. So we've seen that comprehensive leave policies that take care of primary and secondary caregivers for the family, and also some companies also provide on-site childcare which has, we learned and we know encouraged greater attendance of women at work. I remember some time ago, we actually, one of the companies mentioned this, that when they had a creche on the premises, that there was less ladies going on leave. So we've understood this as one of the main categories where parental support is provided. And also work-life integration. We've seen a lot of that, where employees are able to balance their professional and their personal lives. So there have been initiatives taking care of their mental wellness, mental well-being, and to ensure that they are not burdened, but that they are given support. Some have even mentioned where counseling, the companies are providing counseling, and so there have been many such initiatives. So, health, well-being and safety. I mentioned counseling support. So we do find a strong focus on women's health, such as fertility treatment support. Many of the companies fund fertility treatment, and also we found menstrual health has become a key priority, and also mental wellness program. As I mentioned before, counseling, professional counseling services as well, and it's offered in a very confidential manner, which is very enlightening and enheartening, because nobody knows, not even the company knows who's being counseled, and so that has been a very, very committed process. And also safety in the workplace. We've seen anti-harassment and grievance handling processes. Now I do know this is an ongoing discussion. We need to keep doing more because there's always room for harassment, as Professor Arosha has always been talking about this topic. She's the head of our panel of judges, and we've seen it happen many times. So it was heartening to see the companies walking the talk. Because this is an area, as all of you ladies will agree, that we've come across at some point in our lives. There's been harassment of some sort, or there's been some sort of grievance that we've all had to face at one time or another. So it was very encouraging to see companies supporting, initiating these measures, and even facilitating a process where someone with an issue could be heard all the way to the top. And then we've also seen, very encouragingly, a holistic approach to employee well-being, integrating mental, physical and emotional health initiatives. This could be from yoga classes to time out and various other initiatives. So when it comes to professional development and career growth, we've seen professional development programs tailored specifically for women which have been implemented, and we've seen mentorship and leadership training processes. We've seen organizations pioneer such measures for the ladies inside, and where also some of the key areas that we've seen is where the senior members, female members of the team are playing the role of mentors to the younger ones, which is very encouraging, and which also gives a sense of hope for the younger ones to be able to come up the ladder. If she could do it, I could do it. So that's a very believable factor which we've seen. And also, as I mentioned earlier, companies are focusing on non-traditional areas, encouraging and supporting their progress in traditionally male-dominated areas. In a previous entry, I think last year's awards, we actually saw where women were even employed in capacities where they could deliver things, female delivery drivers, which we saw was a sort of a pioneer initiative. And this year we've seen one company taking it outside Colombo to women in rural communities where they could play the role of, actually marketing and sales initiatives. So we've seen a lot of those this year. And also we've seen recognition and reward systems that acknowledge the contribution. I think a key factor is acknowledging the contribution made by women on the team and the achievements, which has been instrumental in promoting gender equality. And when it comes to community engagement and empowerment, we've seen that companies are increasingly identifying and creating environments that support women. We've seen this increase over the years. And it also, I think the key word here is women feel valued on the team. You want to feel you're valued, you want to feel that your contribution is being acknowledged, and hence you're given the support. Because let's face it, we are mothers, we are wives, we are sisters, we are aunts, and in the process, some of us we go through the imposter syndrome. Some of us think we can't do it. So some of us, would like to take a seat back. So those are the times we need the support. And it was very encouraging to see that there was a lot of community engagement and support provided by these companies to make the women feel valued. And we also saw that great opportunities are being created for women to succeed at work. So they are not just being given pressure, or they're not just being given flexi hours, but they're being encouraged actively to feel supported. Like I said, the word is feel valued, feel supported, feel encouraged. And these were the words that were used by the ladies themselves when they made the presentations, which was again a key factor for us. And this support was available throughout their career progression. And the contribution women make to the workplace is not just being considered as important, but it is being encouraged. It is being encouraged socially, economically, and organizationally. So in conclusion, we would like to see with the experiences and the feedback that we have had as a panel of judges for the awards this year, women are increasingly able to source leadership and growth opportunities that are not limited by at what stage of life they are in. Whether they are raising a family, or they're expecting mothers, or they are single, or whatever their stage is, that does not reflect upon the value and the worth that they bring to the workplace. Again, non-traditional male-dominated career paths are opening up, which is really, really fantastic. And a key area, as I mentioned before, women in tech, this is growing, and we believe that's been a key factor that we think would hold value in the future. Strengthening support structures against existing harassment and discrimination. I think this continues to be bettered, continues to grow. And above all else, I think a key factor of the future is that encouraging women to adapt to the mindset that they can do it all. Manage a career, raise a family, and achieve success, which is a priority. And in closing, I must say, men, we can't do without your support. So those of you who are the gentlemen here, we are thankful to you that you are able to support us. If not for a supportive husband, I couldn't be here today, and I think the same goes for a lot of the ladies here. So thank you, men, for the support that you give the ladies on your team. Change begins with you and with the mindset that you have, that you understand that we are not the weaker sex. It's just that we need that tad bit of support, which goes a long way. So thank you for being here tonight, and I hope there are insights that you've picked up this year as well.